My brothers and sisters, one of the greatest traps of our time is comparing ourselves to others. We scroll, we watch, we listen, and somewhere inside we begin to feel that we are not enough. Yet Allah has written a journey for you that is unlike anyone else's. The moment you stop measuring your life by someone else's standards, you open the door to true peace, contentment, and gratitude. Comparison robs peace because it shifts the focus from what you have to what you think you lack. The heart, when it constantly measures itself against others, will never find rest. You might be blessed with health, family, and countless favors from Allah. Yet if your eyes are fixed on someone else's blessings, you begin to feel poor. It's like drinking salty water when you're thirsty. The more you compare, the more dissatisfied you become. People compare wealth, beauty, careers, even spirituality, and in doing so, they invite unnecessary stress into their lives. When you look at someone's success, you rarely see the struggles, sacrifices, or challenges behind it. You see only the polished part, the final picture, and you think that's the whole story. This unrealistic perception makes you feel inadequate and ungrateful for your own reality. The danger is that comparison doesn't just steal joy in the moment. It plants seeds of resentment. You might start feeling bitter towards others for having what you wish you had. Over time, this bitterness can poison relationships, weaken your faith, and turn your heart away from gratitude. Islam teaches us to look at those below us in worldly matters and those above us in faith, so that we can stay humble and thankful. But when the habit of comparison dominates, and the heart is clouded, one of the tricks of Shaitan is to make you believe that your worth is tied to being ahead of others, as if life is a race to outshine them. In reality, life is a personal journey. If you spend that journey looking sideways instead of forward, you will miss the beauty of your own path. Peace comes from accepting that everyone's blessings are distributed. What is written for you will never pass you by, and what is written for someone else will never be yours. When you truly internalize this, you stop chasing and you start appreciating. Every moment spent in comparison is a moment stolen from living fully. When you are busy counting someone else's gains, you stop noticing your own progress. This is why contentment and peace are impossible. When comparison rules your heart, it's like walking with a heavy stone in your pocket. The further you go, the heavier it feels until you decide to let it go. Letting go of comparison doesn't mean ignoring ambition. It means aligning ambition with gratitude and faith rather than competition and jealousy. It means recognizing that your value in the sight of Allah is not increased by having more than others, but by being grateful, sincere, and patient with what you have. Gratitude is the cure because it shifts the heart from a state of longing to a state of contentment. When you train yourself to notice the blessings that already exist in your life, you begin to realize how much you have been given by Allah without even asking. Waking up in the morning, being able to breathe, having food on your table, loved ones around you, and the ability to worship are all favors that many people overlook until they are gone. Gratitude changes your perspective, turning what you have into enough. It silences the voice that says, "I will be happy when I get more," and replaces it with the understanding that happiness is already within your reach. A thankful heart is a peaceful heart because it focuses on abundance rather than scarcity. When you are grateful, you guard yourself from jealousy and comparison. You stop feeling deprived when you see someone else's blessings because you know that Allah's treasures are unlimited and His plan for you is perfect. Gratitude doesn't only protect your heart, it also invites more blessings into your life. Allah promises in the Quran that if you are grateful, He will give you more. This is not only about material wealth, but also about spiritual satisfaction, inner peace, and emotional stability. People who practice gratitude regularly find that they complain less, stress less, and enjoy life more deeply. Gratitude also humbles the soul, reminding you that everything you have is a gift, not an entitlement. This humility keeps arrogance away and strengthens your connection with your Creator. It transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for worship, because every time you say Alhamdulillah with sincerity, you are engaging in an act of remembrance. In moments of difficulty, gratitude becomes a shield against despair. It helps you see that even in hardship there are mercies hidden by Allah that you may not understand yet. You might lose something you thought you needed, only to realize later that Allah replaced it with something far better. A grateful mindset also strengthens relationships, because when you appreciate people for who they are and what they do, you spread positivity and kindness around you. Gratitude makes you more patient, more forgiving, and more willing to focus on what's right instead of constantly highlighting what's wrong. It allows you to celebrate others' success without feeling threatened, because you are content with your own journey. This attitude nurtures peace in the home, in friendships, and within communities. Without gratitude, even the greatest blessings feel insufficient. But with gratitude, even the smallest blessings feel abundant. It is a habit that grows stronger the more you practice it. And it becomes a light that brightens every aspect of your life. Social media is not reality because what you see on the screen is rarely the complete truth. People often share only the best parts of their lives, the vacations, the celebrations, the moments of success, while hiding the struggles, the failures, and the tears behind closed doors. This creates an illusion that everyone else's life is perfect while yours is full of flaws. But in reality, no one's life is without challenges. Filters, editing tools, and carefully chosen captions can make ordinary moments look extraordinary. And over time, this constant exposure to polished images can distort your understanding of real life. You might find yourself feeling inadequate, not because you lack anything, but because you are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlight reel. This false comparison plants seeds of envy and dissatisfaction, making you believe you are falling behind in life. Social media can also create unrealistic standards for beauty, wealth, and success, pushing people into unnecessary competition and materialism. Many influencers or public figures are under pressure to maintain a certain image, and the lifestyle they show may not even be sustainable for them. Yet viewers who do not see the full picture begin to think that this is the norm they must live up to. This not only affects mental health, but can also lead to overspending, insecurity, and constant restlessness. The danger is that the more time you spend immersed in this virtual world, the more disconnected you become from your own reality. You stop appreciating what you have, and you overlook the blessings right in front of you. Social media also thrives on attention, and the algorithms are designed to keep you scrolling, often feeding you more of what triggers your emotions, be it envy, anger, or curiosity. This can trap you in a cycle where you are constantly comparing yourself to others, feeling either superior or inferior, neither of which brings true peace. It is important to remember that you are seeing only a fraction of someone's life, carefully selected and presented to convey a certain image. Real success is not measured by likes, followers, or online applause, but by your sincerity, your faith, and the way you live when no one is watching. Social media can be a tool for learning, connection, and inspiration if used wisely, but without caution, it can easily become a source of discontentment. The key is to use it without letting it use you, to remind yourself that the screen does not show the full story, and that your worth is not defined by how your life compares to the pictures you see online. Allah's plan is perfect because it is built on His complete knowledge, wisdom, and mercy. Every moment of your life, every test you face, and every blessing you receive is part of a divine design that is far greater than what your eyes can see. Sometimes we question why certain things happen, why a dream is delayed, why a door closes, or why we face challenges we never expected. In those moments, it is easy to feel that something has gone wrong. But Allah never makes mistakes. He knows what you do not know, and He sees what you cannot see. What may appear as a setback could be the very thing protecting you from harm or guiding you to something better. Life is like a puzzle where you can only see a few pieces, but Allah sees the entire picture. His plan is written with precision, and nothing in it is random. Even the difficulties you endure are crafted to build your strength, shape your character, and bring you closer to Him. When you trust that His plan is perfect, you stop feeling restless about what you do not have and start focusing on what you can do in the present. Trusting Allah's timing means believing that every delay has wisdom and every blessing arrives exactly when it is meant to. It saves you from the constant pressure of comparison because you understand that your journey cannot be measured against anyone else's. Their chapter is not your chapter, and your timeline is not their timeline. When a door closes, it is not rejection but redirection, guiding you toward the path that is truly yours. The heart finds peace when it accepts that whatever Allah has decreed for you will reach you, and whatever He has not decreed will never be yours, no matter how much you chase it. This belief frees you from the chains of envy and the burden of trying to control every outcome. It also allows you to be patient in trials because you know that even hardships carry hidden blessings. Sometimes the greatest gifts come wrapped in challenges, and it is only with time that you understand why they were placed in your path. Surrendering to Allah's plan is not about giving up effort, but about combining effort with trust. You work hard, you take steps, but you leave the results in His hands, knowing that His decision is always in your best interest. This mindset transforms worry into peace, because you no longer feel the need to rush or force what is not yet meant for you. It also deepens your gratitude because you recognize that every blessing, whether big or small, is not random luck, but a deliberate part of Allah's mercy towards you. Self-worth comes from within because it is rooted in who you truly are, not in what others think about you. When you measure your value through the opinions, praise, or criticism of people, you place your happiness and peace in something unstable and ever-changing. One day people may speak well of you, and the next day the same people may criticize you. If your sense of worth rises and falls based on these external voices, you will constantly feel like you are walking on shifting sand. True self-worth is built on recognizing your value in the sight of Allah, knowing that you are His creation, honored and given a unique role in this world. He fashioned you perfectly according to His wisdom, gave you abilities, strengths, and opportunities suited for your life, and wrote your story with care and intention. When you internalize this truth, you stop feeling the need to prove yourself to everyone around you. Many people spend their lives chasing validation, trying to look successful in the eyes of others, and comparing their achievements to an invisible standard set by society. This pursuit can lead to exhaustion, anxiety, and a constant feeling of not being enough. You may find yourself working harder, not because you genuinely want to grow, but because you are desperate for someone's approval. The problem with this cycle is that the approval you seek is never guaranteed, and even when you receive it, it often fades quickly. By contrast, when your self-worth is anchored in faith and self-awareness, you become stable and resilient. You do not crumble when criticized, and you do not become arrogant when praised. Instead, you maintain balance, knowing that your real worth comes from your character, your sincerity, and your relationship with Allah. Self-worth also means accepting yourself as a work in progress. It is about acknowledging your strengths without arrogance, and recognizing your weaknesses without self-hate. It involves taking responsibility for your growth, while also being compassionate towards yourself when you fall short. Islam teaches that no human being is perfect, and that the best among us are not those without flaws, but those who turn back to Allah in repentance and strive to improve. When you adopt this mindset, you free yourself from the unrealistic expectation of being flawless in order to be worthy. Another important part of self-worth is setting healthy boundaries. When you know your value, you do not allow others to mistreat you, manipulate you, or drain your energy. You understand that it is not selfish to protect your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Rather, it is necessary. A person with strong self-worth does not need to please everyone, because they know that trying to keep everyone happy is both impossible and exhausting. Instead, they focus on living with integrity, treating others with kindness, and standing firm on their principles. Self-worth is also deeply connected. Gratitude shifts your attention from what you lack to what you have, which reinforces a healthy self-image. It also helps you see your journey in a more positive light, understanding that your life has meaning even in its quieter or less glamorous moments. In the modern world, where social media often amplifies insecurities, protecting your self-worth becomes even more important. The endless stream of curated images, highlight reels, and public opinions can easily make you feel like you are not good enough. People often showcase their best days, their happiest moments, and their greatest achievements, leaving out the struggles, failures, and pain behind the scenes. If you measure yourself against this incomplete picture, you will always feel like you are falling short. This is why it is essential to step back and remind yourself that what you see online is not the full truth. Your value is not determined by likes, followers, or external recognition, but by your sincerity, your effort, and your faith. Building self-worth requires both inner reflection and consistent action. It means being honest with yourself about your intentions, purifying your heart from arrogance and jealousy, and focusing on what truly matters in life. It means investing in your growth, learning, improving your skills, and strengthening your faith, not to compete with others, but to fulfill your potential. It also involves surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you, rather than those who constantly tear you down or make you feel small. The company you keep can greatly influence how you see yourself, so choose companions who remind you of your value and encourage you towards goodness. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your self-worth is through service and contribution. When you use your abilities to benefit others, you see tangible evidence of your value and the positive impact you make. Whether it is through helping your family, supporting your community, or volunteering your time, acts of kindness reinforce the understanding that your life has purpose. This sense of purpose is far more lasting than the fleeting satisfaction of external validation. Faith plays a central role in sustaining self-worth. When you remember that Allah does not judge you by your wealth, status, or outward appearance, but by your heart and your deeds, you begin to prioritize what truly matters. You understand that being loved by Allah is the highest honor and that pleasing Him is far more important than pleasing people. This perspective liberates you from the exhausting race for worldly approval and helps you stand firm in your identity, even when others misunderstand or criticize you. Self-worth also requires patience. It is not built overnight. It grows over time through reflection, prayer, and life experiences. Each trial you face and overcome adds to your inner strength. Each lesson you learn about yourself and others shapes your understanding of your value. Over time, you develop a quiet confidence, not the loud, attention-seeking kind, but the steady, unshakable kind that comes from knowing who you are in the sight of Allah. When you live with this sense of self-worth, you are less likely to be swayed by trends, opinions, or the fear of missing out. You make decisions that align with your values, even if they are unpopular. You treat yourself with respect and extend the same respect to others, recognizing that everyone has their own unique journey. You stop chasing after validation and instead focus on living a life that is meaningful, purposeful, and pleasing to your Creator. Would you like me to now continue with keynote number 6 in the same expanded style, so your full speech flows naturally? Living with sincerity means that your actions, words, and intentions are aligned with a pure purpose, to please Allah rather than to gain the admiration or approval of people. Sincerity is the foundation of every act of worship and every good deed, and without it, even the most impressive actions lose their value in the sight of Allah. It is possible to do something that appears noble on the outside but is empty on the inside, if the intention is corrupted by pride, showing off, or seeking worldly gain. This is why sincerity begins in the heart, because the heart is the place where intentions are formed and where Allah looks first. When you live with sincerity, you are no longer motivated by the fear of being judged by others or the desire to be praised. You are motivated by a deep awareness that Allah sees you, knows you, and rewards you for what others may never notice. Sincerity brings peace because it frees you from the exhausting need to maintain an image. When your main concern is what people think, you spend too much energy crafting appearances, managing impressions, and worrying about how you are perceived. This constant self-monitoring can drain you emotionally and spiritually. But when your focus shifts to pleasing Allah, you stop worrying about whether everyone approves of you. You understand that even if the whole world praises you, it means nothing if Allah is displeased with you. And even if the whole world criticizes you, it means nothing if Allah accepts you. This clarity allows you to act with integrity in every situation, because you are not bending your principles to fit the expectations of others. Sincerity also protects you from the dangers of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is when there is a gap between what you show outwardly and what you truly believe or feel inwardly. It is easy to fall into this trap when the aim is to gain social approval, respect, or influence. But a sincere person strives to be the same in private as they are in public, and their inner reality matches their outward behavior. This alignment creates a sense of wholeness and authenticity, making life simpler and more honest. You do not have to pretend to be something you are not, because your worth is not tied to public opinion. Living with sincerity also means that you are consistent in your values, even when it is difficult or costly. You do not compromise your principles for convenience or personal gain. You remain truthful, fair, and kind, whether anyone is watching or not. This consistency builds trust, and people naturally come to respect and rely on those whose actions are rooted in genuine intentions. But even this respect is not your goal. It is simply a byproduct of living in a way that pleases Allah. In practical terms, sincerity is something you renew constantly. Human beings are naturally vulnerable to moments of showing off or seeking praise, and Shaitan tries to exploit this by whispering pride and arrogance into the heart. The way to protect yourself is by regularly checking your intentions before, during, and after your actions. Before doing something, ask yourself why you are doing it. During the action, remind yourself that Allah is watching and that your reward is with Him. After the action, resist the temptation to dwell on people's reactions and instead thank Allah for allowing you to complete it. This process of self-checking keeps your heart pure and your deeds meaningful. Sincerity also has a powerful impact on relationships. When you interact with people sincerely, without hidden agendas or manipulation, trust grows naturally. People feel safe around you because they know you mean what you say and that you are not using them for your own benefit. This kind of honesty deepens bonds and creates a sense of loyalty and respect in friendships, family, and community. On the other hand, when relationships are built on pretense or self-interest, they eventually crumble, leaving behind bitterness and disappointment. Another beauty of sincerity is that it brings humility. A sincere person does not feel the need to broadcast their good deeds or seek recognition for their sacrifices. They understand that the reward from Allah is far greater than any praise they could receive in this world. This humility keeps the heart soft, protects it from arrogance, and makes it easier to accept constructive criticism without becoming defensive. Sincere people can admit when they are wrong, seek forgiveness when they hurt others, and continue striving to improve, because their self-worth is not tied to appearing perfect. Sincerity also gives meaning to the small, everyday acts that might otherwise go unnoticed. Smiling at someone, helping a neighbor, quietly supporting someone in need may seem insignificant to the world, but in the sight of Allah, if done sincerely, they carry great weight. Even the hidden struggles, resisting temptation, making dua in the depths of the night, forgiving someone in your heart, are known to Allah and rewarded accordingly. This awareness turns life into an ongoing opportunity for worship, because everything you do with the right intention becomes an act of devotion. Living with sincerity also requires courage. It means you may have to stand apart from the crowd, speak the truth when it is unpopular, or act according to your values even when it brings criticism. It requires trusting that Allah's approval is worth far more than human applause. This courage is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady and firm, driven by a conviction that your life has a purpose beyond worldly recognition. Sincerity helps you stay grounded in times of success and resilient in times of failure. When you achieve something, you do not become arrogant because you know your ability to succeed was granted by Allah, and when you fall short, you do not despair because your worth is not defined by results alone, but by your effort and your intention. This perspective keeps you balanced and consistent, able to move forward without being swayed too much by external highs or lows. A life built on sincerity is a life of integrity, peace, and meaning. It allows you to live without the heavy burden of pretending, without the constant anxiety of seeking approval, and without the emptiness that comes from chasing worldly validation. You begin to experience a deeper kind of joy, the joy that comes from knowing that you are being true to yourself, to your principles, and above all, to your Creator. Every day becomes an opportunity to act with purpose, to speak with truth, and to live in a way that, whether seen or unseen by people, is seen and valued by Allah.